So the gopis, that's on one side, because they're saying, oh, stubborn one, just accept us, reciprocate with us, means we want to love you, so love us in return. So that's the Shringar aspect, that the gopis are rebuking Krishna for wasting time. They've come to Krishna for a purpose, to dance. It's a romantic night, it's a full moon night, it's the middle of the forest. So they want romance, they want reciprocation. It's when lovers and beloveds come together, then they exchange and have so much wonderful fun together on different levels of intimacy, dancing and singing and eating and playing and wandering and talking and walking and joking. As above, so below. That's why it's Nara Lila. We can see so many parallels or similarities between our own movements and actions and that of Krishna. Krishna walks through the forest with his arm around Radharani, and Krishna is saying, oh, Radharani, look at that bird, that night bird in the tree. He's not singing. Oh, let me see if I play my flute. Maybe he's sleeping, let's see. So Radharani says, why don't you take your flute out and play? Maybe he'll wake up. So Krishna says, yes, good idea. And then Krishna plays his flute. Then the bird's sleeping in the trees. Oh, wakes up. Then sings his little song. Radharani says, oh, do you know what he's saying? And Krishna says, no, you tell me. So in this way, Krishna and the gopis, Krishna and Radharani, they walk through the Ban Bihar. It's called Ban Bihar Leela, Ban Gamana. So they walk through the forest and they joke about the nature and about the moonshine. Like this. So this is, we see sometimes in our own plane of mundane, materialistic, temporary existence, the man may walk through the forest with his dear one and his arm resting on her lowered shoulders, as it says in the Bhagavatam. His arm rested on her shoulders, and they're joking. And maybe you can recall. So that's why people have a hard time transiting, giving up their attachment to their own Nara Lila and transiting from there to the transcendental Nara Lila Bhagavan. Because in India, amongst young, dashing, passionate young men, if one dashing, passionate young man, if he had, like most of them, I don't know about dashing, but they're all passionate. That's for sure. Dashing means attractive, and more than that, many things. That's a nuance in style. So if the man, he has many girlfriends, they joke with him. His name is Sunil Gupta. They say, hey Sunil, you became Krishna, you're a Krishna now. They say, hey Krishna, you're a Krishna now. So that the teenage boys, they joke with each other, and they're offensive. They're offending Krishna. They're relativizing him. They say, oh, he's just like us. So if the boy has met 3 or 4 girlfriends, they say, oh, now you're like Krishna? And they all laugh, ha ha, yeah, I'm Krishna. So you know that? No. So when you live here, you know a lot of things are not worth knowing anyway. But it has sometimes a relevancy because Krishna warns for such mentality. He warns and says, beware. So he says, in the Gita, he says, Avajananti ma mura manusham tanamashita. He says, these fools, these Sunil Gupta, and please forgive me if you're listening and your name is Sunil Gupta, but it's just a random name. But they think that they're having Nara Lila. Oh, Bhagavan's having Nara Lila, and he's Nara. Nara means human being. I'm human being, and he's the human being. So, I'm Krishna. So, avajananti ma mudha. Avajananti, when I come down, they don't understand that when I descend, they're foolish. Manusham tanumashhritaha. They think when I become or taking shelter of a manush tanu, the form or the body of a man, then I'm a human like them. But they're not, because Krishna lifted Govardhan Hill. Of course, they say, well, Hanuman lifted the mountain. So that they argue back and forth. The main thing is that Krishna can have 16,000 girl friends, and no one gets pregnant, and there's no abortions, and there's no murders, and there's no divorce, and there's nothing. And you can't do that because you play around with a few, and you'll have so many problems everywhere. What to speak of the venereal disease that you acquire yourself and die shortly after with AIDS or whatever. So obviously there's no comparison to Krishna's intimate amorous affairs and we mundane creatures of the limited realm of birth and death. So Jiva Goswami is reminding us of, here the gopis are reminding us of Krishna's identity. So in a Braja Gopis in a mood of humility, Shantaras is characterized by humility. God is great, I am small.